Hey, what's up guys, it's Dylan Distorted back again with another hilarious Reddit video. Today we're going to be covering r/ProRevenge. Superintendent doesn't like to delay or cancel school no matter how bad the conditions. This comes back to end her career. Teal deer at the bottom. This is my sister's story, but I will tell it in the first person for clarity's sake. I have her permission to post it here. Both my children attended elementary school in the northern Midwest. As you can imagine, it snowed. A lot. Even with all the snow removal infrastructure, when a particularly heavy storm came along, the town just couldn't keep up with it, and the buses couldn't run. For decades, the school district dealt with this by having 5 snow days built into the calendar. If they had more than 5 snow days, the kids would go an extra day at the end of the year. For years, the system worked, and no one ever complained, except the occasional child that had to attend a couple extra days in June. Well, all good things must eventually come to an end. The old, mild-mannered super retired. A new super took his place. She was young, aggressive, and almost immediately reviled by everyone in the district. Let's call her Sue, because that's what we ultimately did to her. Sue came right out of the corporate America. I don't know how she got it in her head that she wanted to run a school district, but she did. She was so inexperienced that the school board had to give her a waiver to work in our district before she could even show up for work. When the year started, Sue went on a power trip that made everyone's head spin. She slashed hours for support staff, barred children from repeating a grade without her personal approval, cracked down on teachers taking sick time until the union pointed out that she was violating the CBA by doing that, backed off a little, but vowed to go after any staff taking sick time. Stopped the weekly trip to the fitness center by the special needs class. She was like a cartoon villain. But what's important to the story, she ended the decades-old snow day system. Took the days right out of the calendar and said we wouldn't be needing them, as she was cracking down on the snow days. Here's how snow days work. The transportation department keeps an eye on the roads. If they are unsafe, or even if the roads are safe, but the forecast is looking crazy for later, they tell the super they can't safely run the buses. The super then cancels school. It's really supposed to be the transportation department's call. Well, Sue decided that she is the sole arbiter of deciding cancellations, so even if transportation says it's not safe to run the buses, she can say, "Tough shit," which she did often. As you can imagine, this led to a lot of awkward and even dangerous situations. Buses not being able to access rural roads, buses running an hour late, buses running their entire route completely empty because no sane parent would send their kids to school in a whiteout blizzard. For years, we parents tolerated this dumb fuckery, but needless to say, we were frustrated. We tried going through the proper channels, contacting the transportation department, writing to the school board. We even wrote a collective letter to Sue personally, who, if the rumor is true, spit on our letter and tossed it in the bin. Though, we did get a nice message on the school department website about how we are always thinking about the safety of the students, so that's nice, I guess. Things finally boiled over the winter of that second year. A bus went off the road. Though my kids were not on it, it shook me up. There were numerous complaints on the school's Facebook from scared and disgruntled parents. 2 years of being the only district open in the county during storms are getting on everyone's nerves. My sister-in-law is a criminal defense attorney. I am a disability advocate with a state agency, so while I'm not an expert on the law like my sister-in-law, I tend to know my way around. We met for dinner and decided that if and when the inevitable tragedy happened, we would sue. We met a couple more times to work on a game plan. You can't sue a school district for making dumb snow day decisions, but if a kid gets hurt... The day finally came in the late autumn of the 3rd year of Sue. We had a big storm roll through in the early morning hours. Not cold enough to snow or freeze, thankfully, but extremely windy. Most of the county lost power, including the schools. Thousands of outages. Power lines down, trees down, roads closed. It was a mess. All the districts in the county closed. All, of course, except ours. Sue was never one to turn down a chance at a power trip. She ordered the schools to stay open. It was a disaster. Buses couldn't access every road to pick up students. Buses were late. Individual schools were putting out bulletins that attendance was parents' choice. Students unable to make it to school would receive a principal's excused absence, stay home if it's the safer choice. Bear in mind that all the schools were running on generators, so the high schoolers, who started an hour earlier, were sitting in the gymnasium, bored. There was literally no point in having school this day. Then, the inevitable happened. A tree fell and hit a bus, and this time, my daughter was on it. Thankfully, the driver did a good job of evacuating the children, and there were only minor injuries. But, injuries nonetheless. All because of Sue's absurd no cancellation policy. Some ambulance showed up, 4 kids went to the hospital as precaution, and it made the news. It was time. The district sent forms to all of the parents of injured children. They would cover all medical costs and provide counseling for the kids in the guidance office, and a small cash settlement, in exchange for the parents signing a release of liability. You can't sue us. But my sister-in-law and I had gotten to the parents first and advised them not to sign anything, as we were taking the district to a big boy court. Some of the parents did take the settlement offered, which is understandable since not everyone likes drama. But some didn't. Some told the district right where to shove that settlement. I was one of them. Sister-in-law and I got together with a couple of the injured parents that were sick of the district's nonsense. We got our paperwork in a row and filed a suit. We filed the suit so fast that our hands burst into flames. The essence of the suit was that the district had failed their duty of in loco parentis by making unsafe transportation decisions, directly causing the crash and injuries. My sister-in-law also pulled some strings at the local newspaper and got our lawsuit a small spot on the front page. Parents came out of the woodwork to express their support. They were frustrated after years of Sue's authoritarianism. It turned into a small media circus, and I'm sure some Redditor will Google this and find something. Well, the district's lawyers got to work and quickly realized that this was going to be a mess. A discovery process pulling up dirt, the parents of the injured children testifying, the general hatred of the district, not to mention it appeared that they would indeed lose. They moved to quickly and quietly settle the case. They basically sat down with us and said, "Name your price." And while I cannot discuss the details of the settlement, let's just say that all injured parties were made whole. Also, the district changed their cancellation policy immediately. Now, if there was even a hint of snow or icky weather, they canceled. A welcome change of pace. As for Sue, she became very quiet. She used to spend all day sending aggressive emails about her policies. Now hardly a peep. All she did the rest of the year was fill the seat. As summer approached at the end of the year, Sue announced her resignation. She was leaving to pursue other interests. We think she was asked to resign. She was replaced by a superintendent who was much nicer. He rolled back all of Sue's power-trippy policies. Teal Deer. New superintendent is mean and doesn't cancel for snow days. Bus crashes, we sue, we win. Also, fix your attention span. If you're too lazy to read the whole post, I pray you are also too lazy to comment. Hey, do you think we can cancel school? Why would we ever do that? It's raining fire. What? So they can't even stand a little fire rain? It literally looks like we're on the sun. So what? They can sunbathe on the way into school. This shit actually happens a lot with school districts around here. There's certain districts around here that just don't close for snow, and the bus company I work for has to go out. We've had multiple buses slide off the road or just have to sit and wait for the entire storm to pass and the roads to be cleared. Be abusive in class? Say goodbye to you and your boyfriend's teaching job. Obligatory first-time poster on mobile, yada yada. This played out over a couple of months, so not all the dialogue is exact. Backstory. So there is this English teacher called Miss K in my school. She is one of the worst teachers I've had. She was abusive, offensive, and mean to almost all the students. If you don't suck up to her, you aren't going to have a good time in her class. Some of you might ask why not report her to the principal. The thing is, she is banging our vice principal, so nothing goes to the principal without him knowing. If you were caught trying to tell on her, you will basically fail her class. Mark papers incorrectly, changing grades, that kind of crap. Storytime. So I was unfortunately put in her class one year. It was absolute hell. She was yelling at other students for extremely stupid reasons, like using a black pen instead of a blue pen, or having messy handwriting. But for some reason, she hated me. One day, I was a minute late for her class because I had an appointment with another teacher. She yelled at me for a whole 5 minutes and ripped me up for lateness. Another time, I asked about a definition of a word I forgot. She yelled at me, calling me dumb and a gay slur. I am straight, but she thinks I'm gay because I play rugby, which she deemed a gay sport for gay men. So after a month of this abuse, I've had enough, so I secretly recorded every single lesson. My country allows recording with only one party consent. In those recordings, you could hear her curse, scream profanity, yell gay slurs, and her name calling other students. After a couple months, there were so many recordings, I went to find a person that not many people in the school know. And that's the principal's assistant, PA. He's basically the quiet observer of our school and is the advisor of the principal. Most people don't know him because he doesn't teach any classes and does not have any duties with the students. I knew him because he's my dad's friend and recommended me to go to this school. Hey, Mr. PA? Yeah, P, what do you need? Oh, I don't need anything, but I do have something for you. PA, surprised. Oh, what is it? Hands him the USB drive and plays it on his computer. PA, in utter shock. What in the world is this? You know what? You go back to class. I'll listen to this. I leave his office, and in a week, Miss K was fired. But this isn't the end of it. The principal wants to know why she hasn't heard anything about Miss K's abusive behavior and did some digging. The principal was shocked to find that the VP is dating Miss K, and he was fired too. Till dear. Abusive teacher gets her ass fired, and so does her boyfriend. When will the people realize they are idiots? She don't got a lot to say, but there's something about her. Come on, man. You're risking your job in a super obvious way. That could easily find its way back to you. And for what? To fuck someone named Miss K? She's probably gonna leave you for some guy named Jared. She went to Jared. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what you think it said on that recording. Exact words only. I don't have a fan base of liars. In fact, I don't have a fan base at all.